Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Ultra League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Tentacruel. Tentacruel on team number 4 from my top 5 best teams. Poliwrath has been buffed to the moon, and Tentacruel is here to shut all that down in the Ultra League, along with Giratina on the safe swap for team number 4. Giratina now a very strong safe swap yet again, with less Steelix in the meta. Giratina a very strong backbone to any Ultra League team, along with Virizion in the back to cover the steel and ground types for Tentacruel. Virizion and Tentacruel cover each other's weaknesses quite well. Also, another added layer of Poliwrath coverage in the back with Virizion. Yeah, I went ahead and built my Tentacruel for Ultra for Season 17, and I do not regret it at all. But here we go, Jellicent. I might have been regretting it for a split second with that Jellicent lead, but we safe swap the Giratina, and they punish us with an Aurorus counter swap. So, very tricky so far, but we're going to try our best here. This Aurorus is building up quite a bit, likely to threaten a Meteor Beam, but I have played that quite a bit in the past, a few different ways. I think you can go Meteor Beam and then try and go for an aggressive farm down, shield once farm down if you're the Aurorus, but as far as us being Giratina, Ancient Power would be nice here, but I do think that Shadow Sneak is nice for opposing steel types in the meta, like Cobalion, Registeel, so that's what we're rolling with here. So we're forced to just go straight Dragon Claw. We do get there quite fast, and we have forced a shield from the Aurorus here. Very interesting. We're going to let this go. And we're actually going to bring in our Tentacruel because this Aurorus is absolutely loaded. And with our Virizion, I didn't want to take too much damage. I had a feeling they were trying to set up a Scald catch on something. They were trying to catch that on the Jellicent. We held on to the energy. We exercised some patience. And now we've got the Virizion right where we want it on the Jellicent, which is an absolute nightmare to our Tentacruel. So, yeah, they're going to hit us with Shadow Ball. We do survive that, and we're going to go for another Leaf Blade here. Be interesting to see what this Jelly wants to do, because this will KO, and they do shield. So, very interesting. I think we'll return the shield. They might be weak to a Tentacruel in the back, so we will shield this and look to get rid of this Jellicent. We're keeping an eye on the switch clock after we go through this charge move animation. At this point, the switch clock should just about be up, and I'm expecting a blind throw from that Aurorus. They're absolutely loaded with energy. It would just about KO our Virizion, they're thinking, and we do anticipate that blind throw, and we catch that resisted damage on Tentacruel. You'll love to see it. And oh, they've got a Guzzlord in the back. This is why you want to be running Blizzard in the Ultra League, guys. When shields are down in these endgame scenarios, you do big damage to the dragons. And oh my goodness, that was super satisfying. Blizzard coming in super clutch here for Tentacruel. And now I do believe it is just about smooth sailing. We're farming down, leaving with a Scald to finish off this Aurorus here. With Tentacruel absolutely popping off, we are saying bye-bye to the Aurorus. Courtesy of Tentacruel, absolutely putting in work. You'll love to see it. Good game to them. Tentacruel on team number 4 from my top 5 best teams for the Ultra League was absolutely putting in work, but not with a lead like this. Holy smokes, we got a Swampert here. We safe swap into Giratina, and whenever we see a Swampert, we safe swap Giratina. They often stay in to chip a little bit with an Earthquake. And based upon my team reads, generally I will shield it, because if they're staying in to get this chip, that generally means that they don't have a direct answer to Giratina, but we elect to let it go here. And I'm glad we did, because they've got a Staraptor lurking. They make a very nice catch there, but that's okay. We wanted to get the damage in on this anyways. Staraptor, much improved with Fly being added into its move pool. I had quite a bit of fun with it in the Great League. Definitely interested to try it out in the Ultra League, but yeah, so they don't allow us to get to another Dragon Claw. We're actually going to shield this and bank that energy, come back in with Tentacruel, and look to get ahead on energy, because our charge attacks do cost a little bit of energy. So whenever you can get that nice energy lead, it is never a bad thing for Tentacruel. We do get that farm down. We do tank the Fly, and they've got a Venusaur in the back. Venusaur in its shadow form. So they have thorough coverage for Virizion, as they should if they lead with a Swampert in the back. And maybe should have built up to at the very least, build up to a Sludge Wave. If not, go all the way up to the Blizzard with Tentacruel here, because they no-shield that. But I think that we were just fishing for a debuff at this point to either force them to throw or force them to swap out. But they're happy just to over-farm to the moon. Holy smokes. We're going to combo play here. We had energy on the Giratina, and they cannot farm down here, so we go to hit the Dragon Claw, and apparently their energy, keeping track of energy, is on point because they do CMP tie us. Not able to get that off on the Venusaur. They pivot back into the Swampert as we come in with our Tentacruel, taking full advantage of the misaligned switch clocks here. And they are going to throw a Hydro Cannon, and that is A-OK. Tentacruel and Giratina have put in tremendous work thus far. Virizion should be able to clean this game up no problem. This Venusaur does have a Sludge Bomb, but a Sludge Bomb, even from a Shadow, does not KO Virizion from full health, and all we need is a resisted Sacred Sword, and they know that it's not going to happen for them, as they do promptly top left. That's going to be yet another good game to them. Yeah, guys, for those of you who may be on the fence about building a Tentacruel, I'm here to let you know it's the real deal, 100%. And here we go, Trevenant. So, fairly decent for us. We win the 2s and the 0s in all situations, whether they go straight Seed Bomb or straight Shadow Ball in the 2s, we still win. But in the 1s, we only win if they go straight Shadow Ball. So, and I don't really want to give up the shields. So, at least I don't want to give up all shields. Seeing that shield, we will shield this and try and get off a Blizzard here. That's the only way I see us taking out this Trevenant at this point. We did get a very clutch attack drop, but I don't think that will mean very much. We're going to go for the Blizzard now. See if they want to give us that final shield. They do not, and Blizzard coming in clutch yet again. You love to see it. And they've got an XL Pelipper. Holy smokes. Pelipper might be quite solid with Poliwrath in the meta everywhere, but I'm glad we did make that play for winning lead, because Pelipper, I don't think, is very good for Virizion. I haven't checked that matchup, but because you don't see too many of those, but I don't imagine it's very good for Virizion. We do survive the Hurricane, as we saw there, and they've got a Shadow Drapion in the back. Gonna let this go, even if they are running Sludge Bomb, and they are, of course. Why wouldn't they be? Even if they are, we do survive, as we can see there. And they will struggle to farm down. They're gonna have to throw a crunch. They allow us to get to this Sacred Sword here. Of course, it will not KO. And we're gonna try and get to another one. If they try and farm down, we might just be able to survive. We do! Hang on long enough. Holy smokes. Virizion coming in super clutch. We are saying bye-bye to the Drapion. The very greedy Drapion. To be fair, I think they knew that they needed 2 crunches to take out our Giratina. That's what they were playing for. Good game to them. I gotta say, I was quite impressed with team number 4 from my top 5 best teams. It was putting in work, and here we go. Golisopod lead. They safe swap a Snorlax. This is why we got Virizion in the back. Handles these normal types quite nicely, I must say. And this is very dominant for Virizion, if you can imagine. And it is Shadow, so as we can see, that Sacred Sword did quite a bit of super effective damage to the very bulky Snorlax here. And I don't think we'll mess around too much with the overfarm. I just want to overfarm by 1 just to be able to get to a Leaf Blade in time for that Golisopod. And they do let the Sacred Sword go. We control alignment, and we're doing all right here. As we can see, they're thinking long and hard. I don't know what they're thinking about here. Seems like a no-brainer to me, so we're going to go for a Leaf Blade here. I do want to get this damage off, so we're not going to bother building up to the Stone Edge. I don't really want them to shield. I want the damage, because Golisopod can go on an absolute rampage if you let it get too far ahead on energy. And they are running Aerial Ace, so that is good to know. Slightly worse for us as Tentacruel. But they have a Magnezone in the back, and this is not running Volt Switch. Holy smokes, they're still on Spark. Hello. But yeah, Giratina's here to shut all this down here. Gonna gonna go for the Shadow Sneak. That's where Shadow Sneak really comes in clutch for opposing steel types. And at this point, we gotta start shielding something. I don't want any wacky flash cannon nonsense from this thing, so we do shield that. It is just the resisted wild charge, but yeah, we're fine here. We are fine here. We don't need we don't need any shields here. Really moving forward up against this Golisopod here. Just going to go for these Dragon Claws and slowly but surely apply pressure to the shields here on the Golisopod. Now we're grabbing shields, and this is an uphill climb. Holy smokes, I kind of feel a little bad for this poor Golisopod here. It is trying its very best, but we've got 2 tanks remaining here. And it is not trending in the right direction. They are putting up a fight till the very end. We grab the final shield, and yeah, they're going to go for one final move. We don't need to shield this, as we all know, Tentacruel quite bulky, and we're going to put this poor Golisopod out of its misery with a resisted Scald here. That's all we need. The Golisopod goes down, Tentacruel left standing with a shield to spare. You'll love to see it. Good game to them. Yeah, the inner workings of Team 4, it was just rolling. It was nice and smooth. The winds were pouring in here, and here we go. Opposing Tentacruel here. Very interesting. Kind of weak to this in the back with Virizion. Not so much with Giratina, of course. But I don't want to risk giving up Switch, allowing them to control the alignment. So we're happy to stay here a little bit. And this will definitely be a battle of attrition here. It does look like we win CMP tie, so that is really nice to know. Good to know. That will generally force them out and give us Switch advantage here. So we'll see. It's just a matter of who cracks first, who stays in the longest, and we get a very clutch attack drop there, adding a little bit of insult to injury as we already win CMP tie here. So our Tentacruel absolutely running circles around the opposing Tentacruel here. And yeah, so it does look like we just consistently win CMP, or CAP I should say, which is very nice. And another attack drop. Holy smokes, the RNG absolutely on our side here. And that of course does less damage, and they pivot into a Scrafty. So I would say we win the battle of attrition there on the lead, and we had just the answer to this Scrafty. It makes me wonder what they have in the back, if that's their best answer to, or I guess if they would swap that onto a Tentacruel, although we were getting low. So maybe they just wanted to get a nice energy lead, which they do have here in this matchup. And this can get a little dicey. If you get a little too comfortable in this Scrafty matchup with Virizion, the power punches really do begin to add up with that guaranteed attack, raising of the attack. So we're getting a little greedy here, but we're fine to be low here. I think this will be the only problem for Giratina in the back here on their team with this Scrafty. So we do take it out, and we had a Talonflame. Holy smokes, I'm glad we got low. That'll give them little farm, but it doesn't matter. Tentacruel, too bulky, guys, able to make it to a super effective Scald here on a slither of HP as we go down. Throwing on 6 was the play because the Incinerate damage had not registered, allowing us to get that off. But generally, if you run a 2-turn fast move up against a 5-turn fast move, which is what Incinerate is, you'll want to be throwing on 2 or 7. They do swap to clear that debuff from the Brave Bird. A lot of Talonflames I've been finding still rolling with Brave Bird, which I find to be very interesting. But it doesn't matter here. This Talonflame cannot do a whole lot here on even shields. We are going for yet another Dragon Claw here. They're not shielding, and we're not going to shield either. We definitely survive a Brave Bird, and once they debuff themselves, they will go down to a Shadow Claw, and they do. So, yeah, Team 4 cleaning up yet again. You'll love to see it in the Ultra League. Good game to them. Oh, I was having a lot of fun in the Ultra League here with Team 4. And here we go. Greninja lead. This is okay. Of course, we are resisting their fast move pressure, but they do thoroughly outpace us here. But as we all know, Greninja, not known for its bulk, even resisted damage often proves to be meaningful damage. And they're just throwing on alignment here, and that is A-okay with me. I'll take that all day. Perhaps trying to get to that, get a potential boost as fast as possible, but you'll still want to be throwing with proper timing. And we go for the Scald, and we get the very clutch attack drop, so that forces them to swap into a Nidoqueen. Very interesting. Gonna go for this Scald here, and at the very least grab a shield. We do grab that shield, and now it is time for Giratina here. Tentacruel put in tremendous work up against that Greninja. God, it's super low, but it does have energy. And we're going to just go for the Dragon Claw spam here on the Nidoqueen. I don't know if I want to shield this at this point. I think I will, just because I'm reading that there may be another poison type in the back, perhaps their own Tentacruel. I think that's what I was reading at the time, which is why we elected to shield there. Shields are now even, going for a Dragon Claw up against the Nidoqueen, and this is not a Shadow, so it is quite a bit bulkier. Nidoqueen, just bulkier in general in the Ultra League as an XL. And we do let that Earth Power go. They look to combo play. We will shield that. I think there's no reason to do that unless you have another poison type in the back. At least that's what I was thinking at the time. So they do draw out our Virizion, and it's not another poison type, it's another ground type. What a very interesting team. Very unique team here. It's a Gliscor, still up a shield, so we are just gonna go for these Leaf Blades. And try and get off as many of these as we can. They're running Aerial Ace. Holy smokes, it's generally a decent matchup for Virizion if they're not running Aerial Ace, but this mad lad is running Aerial Ace. Holy smokes, and it worked out for them because that just about KO'd our Virizion. They're still holding on to that shield. The Nidoqueen is quite low in the back. Gonna throw Giratina in here to pressure those shields here on the Gliscor. And we make it to another Dragon Claw. They might have lost track of our energy. That works to our advantage. Doesn't quite KO, so we're gonna pivot into the Tentacruel. They were onto us. They insta-swap to meet our Tentacruel with the Nidoqueen. But we were ahead on energy. They have no shields, and this is super effective. And we take out the Nidoqueen, and we poison jab down the Gliscor. Holy smokes, Tentacruel finishing yet another endgame in very exciting and dominant fashion. Good game to them. Yeah, guys, if you have access to all three of these Pokemon, I would definitely recommend giving it a try. It was amazing. And here we go. Swampert, Shadow, gonna safe swap Giratina. We draw out a Staraptor, seeing more and more Staraptors in the Ultra League. Quite nice, as it is very much improved. Gonna go for the Dragon Claw. We are slightly ahead on energy. And we make it to yet another Dragon Claw now. I'm going to try and fight hard for Switch. I tried this in another battle, and I actually got hit with a Brave Bird, if you can imagine that. I got hit with a Brave Bird, even though Staraptor now has Fly, so we shield that out of caution, because if they're running Brave Bird, you cannot flip this. But if they're running Fly, which they should be, that's definitely what I would run. Definitely go Fly. We've got a shot here. So knowing the moveset now, we're going to make a play for Switch here. This thing is getting quite low. It is double resisting the fast move pressure, of course, with that normal typing, but it is not known for its bulk. It hits like an absolute truck, and we're going to take full advantage of that. We throw this Dragon Claw here on the CAP tie. And we will now outpace if they choose to shield this. They do choose the shield. We will outpace, guys. A Giratina flip and switch on a normal flying type. Holy smokes, what a monster. We are saying bye-bye to the Staraptor. Holy smokes, Giratina came in super clutch there because we absolutely needed this alignment. So making the play for Switch was 1000% the right call, as we are staring at a Shadow Charizard. And because we control alignment, we can put Virizion onto the Swampert here, and it is smooth sailing, my friends. Giratina, the MVP 100% of this battle. Holy smokes, putting in the work on that mid-game matchup, and they do top left, recognizing that their Staraptor could not get it done against our Giratina, and they lost alignment. Good game to them. All of the moving parts on Team 4 complement each other beautifully. And here we go, Dragonite lead, and it's Shadow shadow form, we can do quite all right here as the poison jab damage with stab from us really do shred. And if we get a clutch attack drop from a Scald, that would be even better for us. But we're going to let this go. They generally have a steel type and a water type in the back. I was expecting a steel type, so right about here, I was instantly regretting my decisions. They had a Golisopod that completely threw me off. I've never seen Golisopod behind a Dragonite lead. It's always either a Cobalion or a Registeel and a Jellicent or a Tapu Fini. So seeing this is bad because they're also running Aerial Ace. I instantly regretted this and I was very upset with myself I was expecting the Steel type safe swap. Yeah, so this is not good. Gonna go for the Scald here, but I think we kind of threw the game with how we reacted to this Golisopod that completely threw me off. I should have exercised a little bit more patience. I was just fully anticipating a Steel safe swap, and I was even more upset when I saw this Tapu Fini, because if we had just brought the Giratina onto the Golisopod, we would have done just fine there, and we would have had the Virizion for the Tapu Fini. So, yeah, I'm very, very tilted at this point that didn't give myself the best shot to win this one. And, yeah, this is not going to go our way. We just no-shield that. We no-bubble this. And after this lands, we will promptly exit stage left. Very upset and tilted with myself. But, yeah. Yeah, that is the team. You can't win them all. And, yeah, Team 4. If you don't throw games like I did, you're going to be doing just fine with Team 4. And I did do well with it. Overall, had a very fun time. I saw tremendous potential in Team 4 when I showcased it on my top 5 best teams for the Ultra League. I was very excited to give it a try. I had been wanting to build my Tentacruel anyways. I thought, it's now or never with all these Poliwraths everywhere. But we did not see very many Poliwraths when we did run Team 4. Go figure. But yeah, even if you don't see any, it still does quite well, as we saw in this video. Performs very well up against just about everything in the Ultra League, provided you're not mon for mon RPS in any matchups. But yeah, you pair all these together, Tentacruel and Virizion complement each other very well. You round that out with a very strong safe swap in Giratina, guys. That's a recipe for a lot of success and a lot of fun in the Ultra League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.